What's up? What's up? What's up, y'all? It's your girl, Ash Beezy. Taking it easy, baby. Yo, yo, yo. I got a question today. I have a question. I have a question today. Whoop, whoop. Okay, let me see if I can get this situated. So I'm not just topsy-turvy everywhere, you know. Okay, but yeah, I got a question here from Linda from the NYC. Big ups, Linda. But yeah, Linda's question to Ash BZ today is, what should she do about her situation? Linda has an associate that she sometimes hangs with due to some mutual friends that they share. And this associate is a hoe. Linda made sure to clarify in the email that, she knows what a hoe is, hoe activities with hoe tendencies. Hoes are your friends, hoes are your enemies. Yeah, quoting Luda. That's no, Luda. Luda was that, baby. Okay, like he's really gonna see this anyways. Whatever. But yeah, okay. Seriously, Linda's associate friend or whatever is a hoe, and Linda is trying to figure out what she should do about the situation. Obviously, the girl doesn't share the same values that she does, and how should she approach it, and blase blase. Well, Linda, thank you so much for tuning in to Ash Beezy and sending in a question. I really definitely appreciate that. Big ups, huge ups, huge ups. But definitely, I would have to kind of pull some stuff from my personal experiences. And this actually, a similar situation actually happened to me several years ago when I was in high school. I was like freshman, sophomore-ish. So I was like 14, 15 at the time or whatever. And there was this new girl that came to school. And, me with my whole Caribbean background, I was the first one. Everybody was like, oh, yeah, she's from fill in the blank. And, your family is, Caribbean, why don't you just be nice to her, be cool with her, whatever. So I befriended her, and, she was just a sweet girl, and, kind of just, kind of had her under my wing or so, or what have you. And, yeah, she's a great person or whatever. And, slowly but surely we just started to kind of like grow apart through the classes or just activities and stuff. So we really didn't hang out that much or anyways. And, started to hear some rumors about her. This is kind of later on, a couple of years later or so. Started to hear these rumors about just some outlandish stuff. And I was like, wow, that is very, for my 15, 16-year-old mind, this stuff was like, just blew my mind to hear stuff like that, because you're like, okay, still, that does not even sound doable. That does not sound like somebody could actually do that. So I just kept hearing all these stories, and I'd be the first one to stand up and defend her honor. No, you don't know her, and da 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 da. And she's a sweet person. You don't need to be making no stories about her, and blah blah blah. I just defended her to the end of the earth. Defended her. And, as time went on, the year went on and stuff, I would see her, in passing, hey girl, hey, whatever, but never really getting to really talk with her and see, like, what kind of mindset she was in, I guess. So, time goes on, and I'm hearing more and more just crazy, just sexual, fantasy type stuff that she's supposedly doing. And I'm just like, are you serious? So, too many stories were coming in. So I decided that I was just going to go ahead and do my own little investigation. So I went to the girls first, which I know was a big issue. Because sometimes females, we just going to hate just because. It's our thing. We're just going to hate just because sometimes. So I went to them anyways and heard some very more graphic things to blow my little virginal mind. And I was like, wow. Didn't know that could be done. With two guys. Wow. And I went to the flip side of that. I went to some of my male friends. And, I was asking them, hey, did you hear that so and such did? Yeah. She did me too. Okay, Okay, so getting both information from both sides, I was like, the stories really paralleled, which was a real shocker for me because I figured I was gonna get more of female hating point of it and a more male fantasy, but the stories were almost exactly the same. And so I was like, you know what? Let me just go ahead and get it from the horse's mouth. I know it ain't gonna be true. I know it's gotta be some kind of mix up. Something went down. I don't know exactly what, but something went down. And so I pulled her aside one day. I was like, hey girl, what's going on? Hey, come here. Let me talk to you. Let me talk. Get your ass up. Let me talk to your old crazy ass. Get your ass over here. And I was like, I've been hearing some really crazy stuff about you. I'm trying to figure out why people are saying these things about you. You know, oh, what you hear? Well, I heard that you, and then with two guys, yeah, yeah. My reaction. My reaction. Okay. I could not believe that this chick was doing this stuff. I started upset to her. I was like, I'm like 15 years old. I'm preaching to another 15-year-old. I'm like, do you not love yourself? You can't be doing stuff like that. No man will respect you. No man is gonna wanna marry you. No, you can't just be doing stuff like that. Just to, yeah, I know. You trying to get more friends? You're not gonna get friends like that. You're gonna get people that's gonna want to use your crazy ass. And I could just see in her face that she had no clue the damage that she was doing to herself, not her physical being, but her spiritual and emotional self. And she didn't even see that. She still probably didn't even see it. And from that moment on, I really dissociated myself with her. You know what I'm saying? You know what they say, birds of a feather flock together. I don't want to be seen with this chick somewhere and then, guys will say, oh, hey, you know what old girl do, right? I bet I'll try her girl ass bees and get knocked the hell out. Don't try me, boo-boo. No. So, Linda, girl, if you have just proof that you know that this chick is a hoe or she doing whatever, you need to figure out for yourself. Is that someone that you're going to associate with? Is that someone that you want to associate with? If you guys don't share the same value system and stuff, there's really not a sense for you guys to really hang because, like I said, birds of a feather flock together. So, big up, Linda. Thanks for listening. Thanks for asking. And to all our 107 subscribers, I love you guys. Mwah, mwah, mwah. See you later.